We're good? Okay, nice. And you're gonna have background music too. It's gonna be danky right now. Alright, so. Where the hell's the reason? So, offensive versus defensive skills. So, let's say, like, you're playing, like, Syndra versus Lulu mid, okay? So, we'll say this is Syndra in blue, and then Lulu in red, okay? So, let's say Lulu's really skilled defensively, but really shit offensively, okay? So, let's bring the jungler somewhere into the map. And then let's just say Syndra is skilled defensively as well, but not skilled offensively. So now, just by that, you realize, okay, Lulu's probably the better player in this case, because Lulu's already playing a defensive champion, while I'm just playing an offensive champion. And I want to bring this to light because, like, when you play Jhin and stuff, compared to, like, Vladimir, you're lacking skills in Jhin completely. So, let's say, what's it called? Syndra's pushing up, and then, like, Lulu is here, okay? And then her jungler is here. And then, what's it called? Let's say Lulu's jungler is here. In this situation, Lulu should be dead, okay? If Syndra has Ignite at least. Because, let's say like jungler is like Lee Sin or something, and he's super good Lee Sin, best Lee Sin in it, okay? So, he automatically will get the Q off as soon as like Syndra makes the ball and then stuns Lulu, okay? But, because Syndra is not good offensively, she doesn't pressure this point and kill Lulu here. While Lulu is good defensively, so let's say she's just really shit at positioning one time and realizes this and then manages to like W herself and run out this way or something like something that she should not be able to do. But because Syndra doesn't capitalize on this mistake from Lulu being here, then Lulu wins, you know, Lulu puts herself ahead, in a sense, because now Syndra loses, she's not doing, what do you call it? She's not pursuing the skill set of her champion, she's not using it properly, so now she's putting herself behind, because the only thing Syndra can do is nuke people, or whatever, provide CC. But Lulu, as long as Lulu stays alive, she's useful, all the time. All she has to do is not get put behind. So in this kind of situation, I want to say, like, play a champion that you know how to play the skill set for, in the sense of if you're good at defensively playing, then you should play somebody like Lulu, because now you're ahead. Like, you don't have to be the one getting kills all the time, okay? So in this case, now you're in a better position if you're Lulu, but not in a better position if you're Syndra, because now with Syndra you should be grinding elo by being offensively good. So in this situation, this is an example of playing a champion that you don't play well for your skill set. But obviously, if it was the other way around, where Lulu was good offensively, and then like Lulu's trying to push up into Syndra, who's like over here, and then Lulu's jungler is here, then if Lulu was good offensively, Lulu would come up and like Whimsy, or whatever Lulu's W is, Lysandra would not be able to do anything. And let's say it was like Reksai or something that Lulu had as jungler. He would just come up here, and Lulu would take advantage of that, and then Syndra's dead. Unless Syndra walks up to this wall here, and then flashes over, and then they don't have flash, so then she can escape. But in that situation, like, I want to say, with a champion like Lulu, it's a lot more forgiving to play than Syndra, because Lulu has like a very defensive and offensive kit. Obviously she's not that offensive, but she can play certain situations like this where it's extremely beneficial for her if you're a good player defensively or offensively. And I mean, a lot of people do play Lulu just because you can play her defensively and then like be really useful anyway, even if you're not good offensively. But obviously that's what differentiates good players from okay players, is being able to juggle both modes as often as possible. But like other champions, you're only limited to offense, like Zed for example. then you have to be really good at being offensive, skill-wise. Otherwise, you're playing a champion that you'll probably never game Elo with, because it's just completely too hard. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to talk about like this kind of example, because offensive versus defensive champion skill sets, like you have to know who you can play based on how you play, whatever. Obviously, you should practice both modes, knowing how to play both, but even in my sense, I think I'm a better defensive player than I'm an offensive player. Because like, think about ADC, most of the time I'm bot lane trying to farm and just making sure my support's the one making the plays pretty much until I can get like farmed enough to do something. Because like Vayne isn't gonna do much early game unless the enemy is really out of position or something. Like it's pretty much farming until you can get like BF sword and your fire cannon, then you're good to go. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay. For like, but this is pretty generic. This is a pretty good case, just as it is right now. Unless you want to go into like specific things about your champions, but it would be better if we had replays for that. But is this good enough? Do you have any questions or anything like that? Like, did I get my point across well enough? You know what I mean? About this whole situation of offense versus defense. And this is, I think this is one of the reasons I've been able to do so well recently. It's just because I picked up Lulu, and I'm a really good defensive player, but not that good offensive. That's why I don't play like Zed or Lee Sin really well, or whatever, you know?
So you want to find champions that accommodate your strengths,
yes,
or your playstyle, so to speak.
Yes, but I'm saying you should try to get good at both, but I would say I'm a lot better defensively than I'm offensively, but I'm still like good offensively, you know, otherwise like probably not get mastery. But, in this case, if I play Lulu, I am good enough defensively that I can also abuse my offensive abilities whenever I can. Obviously, they're not going to carry me. Like, the best example of blatant carrying is being really good at offense, but the subtle way of carrying is being really good at defense as well. So, something you shouldn't forget. Because like with Vlad, you do play defensively really well, because all you have to do is farm it up, you know? Like, you have sustain and you're good, right? And then, you know, even though you're not good offensively, you will still, every once in a while, figure out, oh shit, they're out of position, I can capitalize on this. You don't figure out every little thing you can capitalize on, but you do it every once in a while, like, because you've been playing defensively, and you've been okay defensively, you know, not losing, but building up, like, your strength, okay, farming, something like that. You're able to capitalize without getting too punished for, you're able to capitalize on a few mistakes, even though you've missed a bunch of other mistakes that the enemy made, you know what I mean? So this goes along with the whole thing of, if you don't feed, you can get carried, but alongside that, if you don't feed, you can get carried, especially if you play supporty kind of champions, or champions that you know you can farm or play defensively well with, and then they'll still be okay later on in the game. If you do this kind of strategy with like Zed or somebody who relies on being offensive and being relevant to the game like that, then you're not going to be scaling pretty well, you're not going to be too useful to your team. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say.
I see.
Questions? Anything else like that? I think I cut you off.
Would Jhin fall into the offensive category in this case?
Alright, so with Jhin, I want to give an example of like Jhin play. Let's bring bot lane. I can't select that really damage. So we'll go along with the same team comp we had. So we had Lulu mid, Reksai jungling. We'll say you have who's a good support right now? Name a support, like Thresh or something, I don't know who's Janna. Janna would do pretty dang. Janna Jhin, pretty dang. Alright, so usually you have your mid laner. Your teams are usually juggling over here. and then jungle like over here ready to do something, especially if they're already playing defensively. And Lulu knows her strength is playing defensively, so she's gonna go back over here. Support should be up here in the front. No one should be here because they get caught easily. So in this case, what Lulu wants to do is hit E off minion and then Q into the enemy team, just so it harass them. And then Janna obviously is just shielding, and then Reksai can't do much because he has no poke or anything like that. Their ADC is, let's say, Lucian, and then let's say they have Soraka. So this is super cancer team comp. So no matter how much Lulu harasses, you know, Soraka is just gonna heal it up, and then they have Lee Sin over here. So Lee Sin's probably gonna try to do some target play there, and then Reksai's probably gonna try to capitalize on Soraka. Lulu should be focusing E and then Q on Soraka during that wave, because if she can get Soraka low, then Soraka can't do anything. You as Jhin should be placing traps like here, because you want, if Lee Sin or anybody tries to like, actually, I mean, okay, I lied. So actually put traps like here and here, as long as you guys can clear it before the traps go off. Oh my god, that looks like fucking dick. God damn it. Okay, so you want to trap so you have defensive traps, because if you're gonna be pushing up, or if anybody here can get caught, now obviously you can start walking up and doing damage. But until then, you have to realize you have to play Jhin kind of like Caitlyn, because you can't just walk up and start dealing damage to them, because Lee Sin's just gonna like walk into you as soon as like you guys move up, and then unless Lulu has her W up, he's just gonna ward behind you and then kick you into them, and then you have a chance of getting bursted by Syndra and Lucian. So you don't want to do that. So when you're walking up, you're gonna wanna, let's say that your Reksai is engaging on him or something, and then he's going for rocket. You, as a player, you want to start walking this way, because you know Lee Sin's here. You want to make sure that he can't just come behind you and suddenly kick you into the enemy team. That's like really hard for him to do. So if Lee Sin's here, he's basically gonna lose because he can't do anything. Unless he can like kick Lulu or something, but Lulu, let's say Lulu's smart defensively still, so they're all gonna keep walking this way. This is an example of Lee Sin being super retard. So he's gonna try to walk up, but oh shit, I can grab that too. But he can't do anything because he has to get behind you guys to be able to do anything, or just try to Q directly and start doing damage. But you have Janna Lulu, so you have infinite peel, so Lee Sin is completely out of position. So this is like a good engage for red team. But in this case, depending on how fed Syndra is, you don't necessarily want to start walking up into her. I'm sure Janna and Lulu maybe can heal you, but if Syndra is good, you can die in this situation. So, because maybe if you had Rocket you wouldn't die, but Janna, Lulu, unless Janna shields you and Lulu ults you, it'd be really scary. So, unless you can see like Syndra about to go down, just be careful how you walk up, because you definitely don't want to be frontlining here. Very bad idea. But as soon as you see them start walking away, let's say like a different situation where they weren't so completely out of position. I mean, like in this situation you can walk up and like auto attack them and pretty much be okay. But let's say it was a different position where their jungler starts getting the engage first, okay? Your jungler, Reksai, probably wants to go up this way, and now they're going aggro on you guys, okay? At this point, Lee Sin should have at least activated one trap here, and then you should have had like another trap here or something like that. Something that you could negate them completely rushing and demolishing you guys forward. So you should be walking back up this way, and then Lulu kiting them, and then Reksai either going around or trying to see if he can pick off Soraka if this isn't warded here. So in this case, I think it would be a pretty good idea to start ulting if you're like right behind here, right behind the tower, because you don't want Lee Sin to kick you or something like that, or get screwed over. And then from here, like Janna shields you, and then you ult. Now they can't rush forward anymore, and you might be able to save like Janna, okay? Because now let's say they went over your trap. Your ult slows, right? Am I wrong? Jhin ult
slows.
Okay. So in this situation, they're trying to dive you because you guys are low or something. And then Lee Sin's either... She's gonna try to go this way pretty much. Oh, there's my front foot. I'll try to go into the back line. But from this situation here, you're pretty safe under, like right behind the tower, because Syndra can't really hit you at this angle. She could, barely. But if Lulu's good, you should be fine. Even better yet, you could like go even a little bit further back towards here, because you know there's no one on this side of the jungle to like take you down. So in this situation, you could ult while your team walks back, and now you want to be focusing Soraka in this situation, because if they don't know Reksai's here and then they keep moving up, and then your Reksai just comes up on here, and Lulu's still like here, this is a perfect chance for you to use your ult and then snipe off Soraka like super easily. Because if this happens, then Lulu can go back in, like wins W Syndra for like 2 seconds, and Q Soraka, try to kill her, and then Janna probably walks back in to shield Reksai or something like that. But this is like super easy mode, like when their team thinks they're in position to do something, and then you suddenly change the game all of a sudden because your ult is so strong. This is the kind of situation you want to use it in, because you have damage they don't know you have in that position. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So this is another example of when Jhin can turn the game around. So that's like one of the useful stuff, where you can get like a small sort of pincer kind of thing. But usually this kind of stuff works well if you figure out what your jungler is doing, or whoever is about to turn around or go back in. It's usually better if you have communication or something like that. That's like a good example. Okay. Yeah. Is that good? Question? Concern? Or another situational thing?
Nothing at the moment.
Okay. So, good?
Yes, very.
Informational? Where is everyone? Okay, I'm gonna stop the video now and I'll send to you.